All right, welcome to West Texas High School Bowling. Sorry about that. We're just a little bit late this morning. Hope everything is going well with you out there. Nobody on currently right now, but we will assume that we'll have a few. Right now on 11 and 12, we've got on 11 and 12, we have got Plainview versus West Texas High School Bowling Co-op. And on 13 and 14, we've got Lubbock Cooper Boys Varsity versus Friendship. On 13 and 14, it is number 2 against number 3. Right now, Friendship is number 2 in the district, and Lubbock Cooper is number 3 in the district. So it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a loud match. It's going to be highly contested. I look forward to seeing what happens on 13 and 14. Throughout this broadcast, we will give you updates on students and information about them and how they came to be here at West Texas High School Bowling. And we will do our best to update scores as much as we possibly can. The scores are up there on the screens, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to see them. We're in week 7 of a 12-week series, 12-week season. Going to have 5 more weeks after today before we go to regionals. Regionals will be held right back here in Lubbock, Texas on March 2nd, which is a Sunday. They're just now getting started on 13 and 14. They are on the first frame. I think we caught all the shots on that one. We missed the first couple of bowlers on 11 and 12. But this first section is 2 individual games against an individual. It's 2 game total pins. So on the Plainview side versus West Texas High School Bowling, Josiah Marino from Plainview will be bowling Lexi Flores from West Texas High School Bowling. Jonathan Solis from Plainview will be bowling Carson Hopkins from West Texas. From Plainview, Naima Gayton is going to be bowling Elizabeth Mitchell from West Texas High School Bowling. From Plainview, Angel Estrada will be bowling Addison Palaman from West Texas High School Bowling. And from Plainview, Trey Gayton. My goodness, I have trouble with their names. It will be bowling Calvin Huff with West Texas High School Bowling. On 13 and 14, Lubbock Cooper Boys, Drew Campos will be bowling Friendship's Eric Parsley. Brandon Simonton from Cooper will be bowling Javen Norris. Brendan Brown from Cooper will be bowling Daniel Letkeman. From Plainview, Camden Coleman will be bowling Seth Crump. And in the cleanup position for Cooper will be Jackson Witt bowling against Aiden Veretto. Aiden Veretto is up on lane 14 right now. Just switched to the two-handed style. He's been bowling two-handed for about a month and hasn't lowered his average any. So real proud of him for that. That's kind of exciting. The match on 11-12 could be close as well. Their averages are very, very similar. So we'll see how that goes. The downside of 11-12 right now is Plainview is going to win the match because of a disqualification with West Texas High School Bowling, but we won't even talk about that. We'll just let them play it out. They are missing a bowler, and we've got a sub in there, and subs are not allowed in high school bowling, but just so they can bowl a match, we put a sub in there. And she is bowling right now on 11. That is Lexi Flores from Lubbock Cooper girls team. She's on the JV girls team, leaving just a 3-6. As this broadcast goes on, I'll get more in the flow of things and realize who's bowling. So it'll be a little easier for me and give me a little bit of time on that. All right. I believe that is up on lane 11. That's Daniel Letkeman. And on 12 is Naima Gayton. Sorry, a little cough going on. Daniel picks up his spare. And Naima misses her split, but that was a good offering. That was Javen Norris on lane 13, picking up his spare. And I got the lanes confused. I apologize for that. That was Carson Hopkins earlier. That was Daniel Letkeman on lane 13. Addison Palamon on lane 11. Crosses over, leaves a 9-pin. Brendan Brown just interesting. Okay. Camden Coleman is up on lane 14 for Cooper. Addison Palamon going for her spare over on 11, gets it to go down, no problem. Camden Coleman with a 9-pin. Trey Gayton is on lane 12, and he's got just a 4-pin up there. Calvin Huff on the lane 11. Camden Coleman for his spare, and he gets it. Calvin Huff with a big strike on lane 11. And Trey Galen picks up his spare. Aiden Veretto on 13. Rips through the nose, leaving the rail. 3-6-10. Leading off for Plainview is Josiah Marino on lane 11. Going up against Lexi Flores on lane 12. Again, it's a two-game total pin match, 1v1. Josiah for his spare. Picks it up, no problem. Lexi Flores on lane 12 with just a 4-7. That's gonna not hook. And it hooks and takes the 7 off. Eric Parsley on lane 14. And Eric gets a big strike there. Drew Campos for a strike on lane 13. He's their leadoff bowler, bowling against Eric. Javen Norris on lane 14. Leaving just a 10 pin. Sorry about that. Had to make an announcement to the bowlers. In Texas high school bowling, there is no electronic equipment allowed being used while in the pit area while you're bowling, which includes telephones, earpods, earbuds, headphones. None of those kind of things are allowed while you are bowling. For those who are watching this and actually bowlers. Well, feel free in the chat to ask me any questions you want to ask. I will look at that periodically and let you guys with whatever answers you need. I'm going to do my best to answer them. My name is Alan Berger. I'm the president and CEO of West Texas High School Bowling Club and district coordinator for Texas High School Bowling. So hopefully I know the rules and how to apply those rules. So feel free to ask me whatever you'd like. I know we've got some college coaches watching today. Hello. I will try to point out some of the ones that you need to be looking at. And there's one coming up on lane 12 right now, Addison Palamon. She's in second place in the district as far as averages go. She is just a sophomore, though. So that's one to look out for the future. And she leaves the 10 pin. Over on lane 14, that was Seth Crump with a strike. And Jackson Witt on 12 right now. Ring 10. That 6 pin wrapped right around the 10 pin. All right, Addison, talked you up big time, so make sure you pick up your 10 pins. And after I say something, it's announcer's jinx, and she misses. Jackson Witt for his 10 pin. No problem. That's the way that's supposed to be done. Another one to look out for, I believe he is a senior right now on lane 12. That is Calvin Huff. Aiden Reddo picks up his 9 pin over on 14. Calvin bowled first couple of years and then last year took the year off because of school. He is from Snyder, Texas. He drives 90 minutes to come bowl West Texas High School Bowling. And he's bowling on the co-op team because Snyder does not have a team. But he wanted to come back because I think he wants to bowl in college. So that's one to look out for. He is averaging 198 right now, and he kind of struggled the last couple of weeks, but I think he's going to get it back this week. Bowl real well. Eric Parsley with a washout. That ball did not come back around. Calvin hooks into his spare, and it hooks just enough to get that 7 pin. Drew Campos on lane 14 with a big strike. All right, Eric. He tried to throw a backup ball and almost got it. Almost got it. Lexi Flores did not convert her split over on 11. Josiah Marino from Plainview on lane 12 with a strike. 5 pin fell late and got that strike. Now we got Seth. That is not Seth Crump. That is Javen Norris. We won't talk about that. It doesn't hook out of the gray board. Sorry about that. Carson Hopkins with a 2.810 over on 11. He's new to West Texas High School bowling. This is his first year. I believe he's just a freshman. Javen Norris crosses over, leaving 1-3-6-10 after the first one went in the gutter. That's an open frame. Jonathan Solis from Plainview with a big strike on lane 12. Liz Mitchell, first time I'm talking about her. She is a freshman at Lubbock Cooper Liberty. Knocks them all down on lane 11. Daniel Letkeman on lane 13 with a big strike. Naima Gayton with a big strike on lane 12. She is a senior as well. I think she's wanted to go into the agriculture. So if you've got any agriculture programs out there, she throws a little bit of a backup ball, but I've been very impressed with how she throws the ball, this being her first and only year with West Texas High School bowling. Addison Palaman crosses over and leaves a 9-pin. That's twice, Addison. Got to get it on the right side of the head pin, sweetheart. Angela Estrada on lane 12 from Plainview, leaving the rail plus a brother-in-law. Three, 6, 10, 3, 6, 9, 10 on lane 12. Addison with her 9-pin. And she misses that one too. Addison, I'm going to talk you up, girl, because I think you're going to be a really good fine bowler, but pick up your spares. Jackson Witt stepping up on lane 14. Keeping it pretty tight, but it's hooking down lane 3, 6, 10. They're going to have to make some adjustments there, especially on lane 14. Aiden Veretto with a big strike on lane 13. Again, Aiden just switched to the two-handed style within the last month. Has been a one-hander for the last few years. I think he's got about 4 weeks in, and he's bowling really well with that two-handed style. I think he still goes at his spares one-handed. Jackson does what Jackson does, which is pick up his spares. Angel Estrada with his 10-pin, or is that Trey? That was Trey. Trey Gayton left that 10-pin on lane 12 and did pick it up. Josiah Moreno again on 11, working on a strike. Sorry about that. My goodness, it snuck up on me, leaving a 10-pin over there for Josiah. Eric Parsley with a big strike on lane 14. Lexi Flores on lane 12. Gets them all to go down. Drew Campos with bedposts on 13. Javen Norris cuts through the nose, leading to 3, 6, 10. I think I'm going to have to go step away and get something to drink. I'm kind of choking up over here. Jonathan Solis on lane 11. Brandon Simonton on lane 13 with that unique style that he's got, crosses over 369. Daniel Leckerman on 14. $139 is what he's got left up there. Fairly easy spare. Liz Mitchell stepping up on lane 12. Working on a strike. Gets 9. Naima Gayton. My goodness, I have trouble with their names. Big strike on. That's a double for her. She's gone spared her strike in the last 3 frames. Daniel cleans up his mess. And now we're on to Brendan Brown on lane 13. He's been with us for a while. I'm not real sure what his grade level is. I think he is a junior, and he just gets a strike like a senior. Liz Mitchell. It doesn't hold on. Stepping up on lane 11 is Angel Estrada from Plainview. Big strike. They're laying down the lumber over there. Addison Palamon. She's gone open the last 2 frames. She went spare, open. Let's see if she can get it on the right side of the head pin this time. That looks a little better. Oh, wrap 10. She did not enjoy that at all. Trey Gayton on lane 11, leaving just a 4-pin. Jackson Witt stepping up on 13. See if he makes a little adjustment. The 7 and the 10 fall late and gets them all to go down. Addison, Aiden Veretto on 14 with a big strike. Right now, in totals, Friendship is down a few pins to Cooper right now. It's in the 5th. It's 454 to 398 in the 5th. Everybody's got marks, though. Oh, no. On Cooper's side, first, their leadoff bowler isn't open, which is up right now, and Drew Campos. Wrap 10. Calvin Huff over on lane 12, leaving just a 10-pin. Lexi Flores on lane 11. Oh, 9-pin. Hopefully she'll clean that up. Let's see what Calvin can do. Again, he is a senior. He may be looking for somewhere to go. Throwing that skull ball. Picks that 10-pin up. Drew Campos makes up for his last frame and picks up that 10-pin. Eric Parsley on lane 13. Little light in the pocket, leaving a 2-pin. Lexi Flores. No problem with that 9-pin. All right, I'm going to step away just for a moment. I'll leave the microphone on so you can hear the sounds of West Texas High School bowling. Hopefully nobody will be doing any cussing. And I will be right back. All right, I am back. It's Jonathan Solis on lane 12. With just a 4-pin. Camden Coleman on 14 crosses over and leaving just a 3-pin. We're here at Whitewood Lanes in Lubbock, Texas. The staff here is phenomenal. If you've not ever been to Whitewood, I would suggest you give it a try when you come into town. I will tell you this. They have the best hamburger in Lubbock, in my opinion. Naima Gayton on lane 12 with another strike. I think that's a 3-bagger for her. It is. That is 3 in a row for her. Jackson Witt stepping up on 14. He's the reigning Texas Masters champion. And I think he's got it figured out now. He's been getting a little high in the pocket, and that looks a whole lot better. Angel Estrada on lane 12, leaving the 3-6-10. Aiden Veretto could not convert the mess he left. Addison Palleman on 11. She is getting no love. If you are watching out there right now, send me a chat. Let me know you're watching so I know who's here watching. Plus, let you know if you can hear me or not. And then if you want to tell me to shut up, I'm good with that as well. Eric Parsley. With a big strike on lane 14. Drew Campos on lane 13. 10-pin. Javen Norris is going to step on 14. Trey Gayton on 12. Little light in the pocket, leaving a 4-pin. Javen knocking the 7 off. Drew picks up his spare. That's 2 spares in a row for him. Good for him. Calvin Huff. Boy, 11 and 12 has got a 10-pin problem. They make an adjustment to try to get the 10-pin out, and they leave a 2-pin just like Trey just did on lane 12. Javen Norris on 14. Makes up for his 1 single pin with a spare. Calvin Huff with his 10-pin, no problem. Brandon Simonton on lane 13 with his interesting style. Fun to watch. All right, a couple of people in on the chat. Welcome. I hope you're having fun. This first part takes about 2 hours, about an hour a game. It is a 2-game total pin match, 1v1. So one player on the Plainview side is bowling another player on the West Texas High School bowling side on 11 and 12. And one Cooper bowler is bowling against one Cooper bowler on Friendship. If you win your match, you get a point. If you win your match, you get a point, and then we add up all the scores from all the games of all the players, and whoever has the highest total receives 2 points. There is 7 points available in this match for this first section. And then we will move on to the Baker section. And if you're unfamiliar with Baker games, it's kind of fun. It's an interesting format. Each bowler will bowl 2 frames. So the first bowler will bowl the first and the 6th. Second bowler will bowl the 2nd and the 7th, and so on. They will bowl one game as a team that way. It's called a Baker game. And they will bowl 4 Baker games against the opposing team. Every time they win a game, they get 2 points. And then we add up all 4 team scores. And whoever has the highest total will receive 2 points. So there's 10 points in this second section. That section only takes about 45 minutes. So after the first 2 hours, it kind of does speed up a little bit. Sometimes I am unable to keep up with it. Camden Coleman with a big strike on lane 12. 17 points total. First team to 9 wins the match. Each of the teams in West Texas High School Bowling will bowl every other team 1 time. So the way they determine that, who's home and away, is by a coin flip. Whoever wins the flip gets choice of home versus visitor. If you choose the home side, the visitor sets their lineup first, and the home team gets to counter, meaning you can choose who your bowler bowls against on the opposite team. So all the coaches around here kind of have to know the other team and how good they are. We do provide some information for them so that they can see averages. The team that loses the toss gets to choose starting lane for Bakers. They will bowl 2 games on one lane and switch and bowl 2 games on another. So sometimes having lane choice in Baker games is the way to go. As things go in bowling, every time you throw a shot, the environment changes. A bowling ball will either absorb oil and take oil off the lane, or it will move oil by not absorbing it and pushing it one direction or another, or moving it down lane closer to the pins. So the lanes change every single shot. So sometimes one lane gets a little trickier than the others, and you kind of want to start on that lane so you get a good jump start on the Baker section, because there is 10 points available in the Baker section. You cannot lose a match in the first section. If you watch last week's situation, Lubbock Cooper girls were bowling Lubbock Cooper boys and came out of the first section 6-1, which meant the boys only had to win 2 Baker games to seal the match. They won the first one, so it was 8-1. And then the girls won the next 2, and they were only 10 pins behind in total. So on the third game, the girls just needed to beat Cooper boys by 11 pins, and they would have won the match. So they were way down coming out of the first section and almost won the match. So again, you can't lose it on the first one. You can't win it on the second one either. First on the first section. Second section, there's 10 points available, and you can win the entire match just in Baker games. That's a little bit how our matches work. I hope that made some kind of sense. It's a lot of information. I will try to, as the day progresses, I will try to give you updates on scores and where everybody sits in their match. Camden Coleman on lane 14 with a big strike. Lexi Flores gets it to the gutter and doesn't hold on. Seth Crump coming up on lane 13. That looks okay. There you go. All right. On lane 14, Jackson Witt's going to step up, and this will be what I call a sparkle frame. Only X's. So sparkle, sparkle, Jackson. It needs to push. And the 9-pin falls late. So sparkle, sparkle, folks. That's a sparkle frame for Cooper. Stepping up on lane 12, we've got Josiah Marino from Plainview. Elizabeth Mitchell is up on. No. That shouldn't be Liz. That's going to be Carson Hopkins going to be coming up on lane 11. Eric Parsley from Friendship. Working on 2 strikes right now. Leaving a 2-pin. Josiah Marino does not convert his spare. Carson Hopkins with just a 6-10 over there. Drew Campos. That's a double for him. Eric Parsley with his spare conversion. No problem. And no problem over there for Carson Hopkins and his spare conversion. Now we'll see Liz Mitchell. She will be coming up on lane 11. Jonathan Solis up on lane 12. Javen Norris crosses over, leaving the 1-3. Jonathan's got a little mess over there. The 1, 2, 4, 10. Not a super tough spare. It is makeable. The way I shoot at that is I aim for the 2-pin. If you hit the 2-pin right in the kisser, the head pin will bounce over and hit that 10-pin. That's got a chance. It's got a hook. It didn't hook enough. Brandon Simonton with his 10-pin and does convert. So he's spare strike in the 8th and the 9th. Brendan Brown going to be stepping up on lane 12 with the strike working. He is spareless right now. But he has a 3-bagger in the middle, so that helps your score quite a bit. Naima Gayton on lane 12 with a 7-pin. She's gotten double 9 miss, now a 9-pin again. Brendan Brown on 12. They bring the boom. Naima does not convert her 10-pin. All right. Addison Palaman has had 10-pin trouble on 11. Let's see what she can work to get that 10-pin out. And she does this time. And she's praising the Lord. Camden Coleman on lane 13. Oh, my goodness. That may be out of range. Nope, the machine did pick it up. That's a 4-9. That's a fairly unusual. Seth Crump on lane 14 crosses over, leaving the 3-pin. Camden Coleman. See what he can do with this. Oh, did not cut it quite enough. That's their first open in 2 frames. Josiah Marino on lane 11 from Plainview. Angel Estrada from Plainview is up on lane 12 with a 2-4 conversion. Jackson Witt. This is for a 5-bagger. Went double, spare 4-bagger right now. Jackson kind of had a career day last week. I think he shot 267, 257, 264, 257, something like that. Big score, Aiden Veretto on lane 14 with a 3-9. Trey Gayton with a strike on lane 12. Aiden Veretto. All right, the two-handed style has a lot of hook. He chopped the 3-pin off the 9. Lexi Flores on lane 12. One of our few two-handed girls. That ball hooked, straightened up, and leaves a 6-10. Eric Parsley. That's got a hold, and it does. All right. Eric goes double. 9 spare strike. He's got 175 in the 9th right now. He's 185 in the 10th. He can strike out for 205. Needs just 2 more. Get this one and he'll be in the 200s. And he 10 pins. So the best he can do is 195. Ooh, no. 198. Mathing is hard. And he does convert. Let's see what his total is there. Yeah, I was right. 195. Drew Campos strikes out for a 243, I think is what that thing says. I may have to get my binoculars out. Nope, 243. All right, I got confirmation on that. Drew Campos with a big 243. I might need to go get my eyes checked. Maybe need new glasses. Javen Norris, he's kind of been struggling this game, and he's got a double in 10th. He can one more strike for a 172. Brandon Simonton with his unique style on 14. Leaving a 2-8. Javen makes a good comeback, shoots 170 his first game. Brandon Simonton does pick up his spare. He's got one more ball, one more bonus ball here. He's 140 in the 9th, which will give him 160. Trey Gayton on lane 11 for his spare conversion, no problem. They're a frame behind. They're working in the 9th frame over on 11 and 12. Brandon Simonton with a 9 count. That'll be a 169, I believe. $159 for Brandon. Addison Palmerman on lane 12. Brendan Brown on lane 14. Baby split for Addison, 10 pin for Brendan Brown. Daniel Leekman does not convert his spare. He's going to shoot 140 for Daniel. Seth Crump coming up on 13. Addison picks up that baby split. Good spare, girl. Seth Crump with a 2-9-10. Brendan Brown for his bonus ball. Brendan's going to shoot 199. Seth Crump needs to pick this up for a bonus ball, and he does. Camden Coleman stepping up on line 14. Opened in the 9th. Leaving just a 2-pin. With a spare here and a strike, he can shoot 194. Seth Crump gets 8. That should be a 222, and it is for Seth Crump, 222. Camden converts his spare. He'll get a bonus ball. Aiden Veretto leaving just a 2-pin, I think. I can't see a brother-in-law behind there, but nope, it's just a 2-pin. Camden for his bonus ball on 14. Gets 8. $192 for Camden. Liz Mitchell stepping up on lane 11. Josiah Marino is going to start off the 10 frame for Plainview. See what he can do with his spare here. Jackson Witt, currently on a 5-bagger. And that one came up a little high, leaving the rail 3-6-10. Elizabeth gets them all to go down. That's a double for her. I'm going to get my binoculars ready so I can start getting scores. Jackson does convert his spare. All right, he can strike out for a 243. So he does get his strike and shoots 243. Aiden Veretto finishes up with a 183 for Friendship. I'll update you on scores in just a minute. I'm kind of watching 11 and 12 right now. We're going to take a little bit of a break here on 13 and 14. It's first period is done. They'll get started with their second game very shortly. Naima Gayton on 12 to pick up her 10-pin, and she does not convert. Naima shoots 161. That's going to bring Addison Palamon over on 11. And Angel Estrada on lane 12. Angel rips through the face, leaving the rail. Eric Parsley stepping up to lead off the second game on 13. Boy, he gets it to the gutter, and it doesn't come back. He's got a 210. Addison. I think that's a double for her. No, I'm mistaken. She picked up the split in the last frame. So that's a... Addison can strike out for 173. Angel needs to convert this spare and got a potential 146 if he can complete this spare. Let's see what Addison does here. And she gets them all to go. So she's going to be in the 170s. Angel Estrada from Plainview going for his 3.610 and does not convert. And Angel shoots 135. That'll bring Trey Gayton up on 12. Addison Palamon for her third strike in a row. Leaves a 10-pin. That should be a 172 for her. All right. Anchor bowlers. Trey Gayton on 12 with a washout. 1, 2, 4, 10. Calvin Huff going to step up on lane 11. Calvin opened in the 10th. He's got 185. Strikes out for a 215, but he leaves a 10-pin. So the best he can do right now is a 205. Trey does not convert. And shoots 155. Calvin can have a 200 if he can pick this spare up. He'll be in the 200s. And he does not. He is shocked. Calvin shoots 194. All right, we'll update you on the scores, starting with lanes 13 and 14. Cooper, number 3 Cooper against number 2 Friendship. Right now, Drew Campos from Cooper. Sorry about that. Needed to make sure. Drew Campos from Cooper is leading Eric Parsley by 48 pins, 243 to 195. On Cooper, Javen Norris is leading Brandon Simonton, 170, 159. Got an 11-pin lead for Friendship's Javen Norris. Brendan Brown from Cooper has a 59-pin lead on Daniel Ledkeman. Seth Crump for Friendship has a 30-pin lead on Camden Coleman, 222 to 192. And Jackson Witt is leading Aiden Veretto, 243 to 183, so he's got a 60-pin lead, much like what happened last week. So as it sits right now, 1, 2, 3. So it would be 4-3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be 5-2 right now, Cooper over Friendship if it stays like this. But remember, it's a 2-game total pin match. Anything can happen.
And Richard, number 50, works ready to go. Richard, number 50.
And when it comes to Baker bowling, definitely anything can happen. All right, so both sides are getting started in the second game. Drew Campos on lane 13 with a big strike. I'm telling you, this match on 13 and 14 is going to be a good one. Cooper did lose to Monterey. Monterey is officially in first place because Friendship has one less game than Monterey does. So, in theory, they're tied. Monterey is undefeated. They beat Lubbock Cooper a few weeks ago. So that puts Cooper in third, Friendship in second, and Monterey in first. On 11 and 12, that is a match between the 6th place team and the 7th place team, but they are tied in their matches. Plainview just has more points right now than the co-op team. They have 51 points where the co-op team has 41. We talked to them earlier today about who is going on to regionals, so I'll kind of update you on that. The top 5 teams, varsity teams, will be moving on to regionals. As it sits right now, that would be Monterey in first, Friendship in second, Cooper in third, Plainview in fourth, and Estacado in fifth. On the girls' side, we're taking one team to regionals, and that would be the Lubbock Cooper girls right now, and I don't see that changing. And that's the official standings. But do keep in mind that Monterey has 6 total games, and they've won all 6. Friendship has only played 5, and Cooper has played 5. So over the next few weeks, Monterey will have 2 matches that will be unofficial. They are leading Friendship by only 9 points in the officials with 1 game in between them. So that's basically one of their wins was a 9-pin match. So anything can happen there. This is week 7 of 12, so that we've got 5 more weeks of bowling left. So anything really could happen in those 5 weeks. And just because, either one of these teams on 13 and 14 lose, they will still be in pretty good shape to make it onto regionals. Regionals will be held right here in Lubbock, Texas, with teams from the Panhandle and the West Texas area. All right. Scott Clevenger is making an appearance on the channel. The lefty is doing a little coaching down there. All right. Stand here, throw there, and try to get down there and knock all the pins down. That's kind of what he said. Lexi Flores for her spare, and that's too much hooky. Carson Hopkins going to be stepping up on lane 12. Josiah Marino. Scott, you need to coach him up a little bit better. What does Carson do? Ooh, he did not get that ball out on the lane. And it hooked early. Basically, after 2 frames on 13 and 14, it's a dead heat. They're basically tied. 127 to 124 right now in 2 frames. Eric Parsley stepping up on lane 13. That looks pretty. Whoa, that ball hooked. Scott McCleary's going to have to do a little work and get them kind of lined up. These lanes are changing. Drew Campos with a big strike over on 14. That's going to bring up Brandon Simonton. If Carson would do us a favor and move to the right, we could get a look at how Brandon throws the ball. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. He just kind of pushes it out there and spins it, and it hooks. Told you last week, if you were wanting to watch a pro that does that style, it's Tim Cagle III. You can find him on YouTube. It's a very similar bowling style to Brandon. Not used very often, but it is interesting. Naima Gayton on lane 11 with a nice spare. Traven Norris, it held. He was begging for that thing to hold. We call those people shimwreckers. Elizabeth Mitchell with a nice spare on lane 12. Angel Estrada, I believe is who that was on lane 11. Addison Palamon going to be stepping up on 12. Again, she's a sophomore. She does a lot of things extremely well. But in the next 2 years, I think she's going to improve quite a bit. She's number 2 in the district right now. Little light mixer gets them all to go. I think in the next couple of years, Addison will get a little bit more power. We're going to work with her on how to maybe a little bit more flexibility and get her throwing the ball extremely well. I'm not real sure what she's averaging right now. I will look that up. I think she's averaging in the 170s maybe. Let's look. And for all this information, you can find it at WTHSBC.com. Yep, she's averaging 171 right now. She's second place in the district. Laura Oglesby is right on her heels. A lot of things changed after last week. I'll go through that. All right, I had a question. Can you watch these things live and in person? Yes, you can. We start around 12:30 at Whitewood Lanes here in Lubbock, Texas. We will be in Plainview. And I believe this person that is asking me this question lives in Plainview. We will be in Plainview on February 2nd. Bowling at Plainview Bowling Center there. I'm going to check that date, but I believe that's right. Oh, February 1st. Saturday, February 1st at 12:30. We will be in Plainview. We bowl in Plainview one time a year, and we fill up the center. It's a small center there. We will fill it up. Camden Coleman with his spare attempt on 14. No problem. So come out. If you're in that part of the world, come out and see us. But if you want to, you can certainly come in here. There's no fee to come watch some bowling here at Whitewood Lanes in Lubbock. Seth Crump did not convert. Jackson Witt, Texas Masters champion, folks. Shot 243 his first game. So in his last 3 games, he's gone 264, 257, 243. And can you expect anything less from the Masters champion? And they all go down. Aiden Veretto with a huge strike. He liked that one. Lexi Flores with a strike over there on lane 11. Josiah Marino with a 5-pin leave. Oh, head pin leave. And that was on his second attempt. Eric Parsley stepping up on lane 14. Eric shot 195 his first game. Two-handed style. No, we bring the boom. Right, yeah, the can opener. Drew Campos. That's a balk, folks. Everybody move one base. Javen Norris on 14. All right, Drew Campos going to restart and see if he likes this one any better. Hey, that was a good restart. Elizabeth Mitchell. Her brother bowled at West Texas High School bowling, and now here she is. Just crushing the pins today. Elizabeth shot 159 in the first game. She did well. She's just a freshman, folks. That was Jonathan Solis over on lane 12, and now we have Naima Gayton on lane 12. Waiting for the pins to reset. She's always ready to go. Backup ball didn't back up. Addison Palliman going to be stepping up on 11. Brandon Simonton. 5-pin. Everybody's hands go up. Daniel Letkeman on 14. Gets them all to go. Friendship needed to make a small little comeback here. In their matches, they've got some tall shoes to fill. Well, Addison, you picked this up on the left side. Let's see if you can pick this thing up on the right side. Brandon Simonton with his 5-pin. Everybody owes him a Coke. She does not convert. Angel Estrada on lane 12. Seth Crump with a big strike on 14. They're going to hang Javen Norris, I think, because well, maybe not. Yeah, well, they might. Yeah. Aiden Veretto stepping up on 14. Put a hanging on Javen. And that bird dog hunts. All these names for a pin. That's the head pin going to the left sidewall, bouncing across the lane and taking out the 10 pin. It's called a messenger or a bird dog or something I can't do. I only dream of throwing messengers like that. My messengers can be timed on a calendar. If I ever get one, they just roll slowly across. Trey Gayton on lane 12. That ball didn't hook, and now he's left the baby split on the left-hand side, the 2-7. Camden Coleman gets it way to the right, and it does not pick up and leaves 2-4-8. Josiah Marino takes 3 off the left. Let's see what Trey does here. That's got a hook. And it didn't hook quite enough. Camden Coleman with his spare attempt. No problem. That'll bring up his partner in crime, Jackson Witt, the cleanup artist. He started this game with the front 3. Lexi Flores on lane 12. One of my favorite bowlers is bowling there on lane 15. That's Melanie Boynton, leaving a 2-8. Can't really see her, but that's what she left. And 300 watches over for Jackson, leaving a 9-pin. Jonathan Solis on lane 11. Jackson takes his spare ball and cleans up that 9-pin with no problem. Jonathan with a big strike over there on 11. Lexi does not convert her 10-pin. Naima Gayton is going to be stepping back up on 11. They switch lanes over here on 13 and 14. Friendship's going to be on the left lane. Cooper going to be on the right. Naima. Just like that. Oh, I called the strike before it even happened. Carson Hopkins on lane 12. Leaving a 7-pin. Dueling 7-pins on 11 and 12. Let's see who can get theirs. Eric Parsley going to start Friendship off in the 5th frame. Light mixer. Gets them all to go down. Drew Campos will be, got his strike on, Drew Campos will be leading off Cooper on lane 14. Carson Hopkins, looks like he almost fell down. Does not convert. Crosses over. 3-6-9-10 on lane 14. Javen Norris crosses over. No love from that 10-pin. Need to start calling it something other than 10-pin. Jerk pin, annoying pin, tough pin. I think Bill Wood staples those things to the deck every day. Because I can't get them to come out either. Oh, great shots. And, Javen. Got to pick up your corner pins. Elizabeth Mitchell stepping up on lane 12. I am taking votes for new names for the 10-pin instead of calling it the 10-pin. Reply in the chat and give me some good names for it. Clean, please. Clean names. We can all come up with the other ones. Also, if you're out there and you're watching and you're a bowler, tell me who you're watching. I'm interested to know. You can, in the chat, you can tell me who you're watching so I can kind of make sure I'm pointing those people out. Elizabeth Mitchell takes 3 off the right, and it's on her spare attempt. No problem. The Cap'n, C-A-P-A-I-N, the Cap'n. Is that what you meant to say? Trey Gayton from Plainview on 11. That's better. Seth Crump with a big strike on lane 13. Addison Palamon stepping up on 12. Addison shot 172, a little bit above her average first game. She wanted that one to go left, and it didn't. Only one person to get mad at, sweetheart. Brendan Brown with a spare on 14. Aiden Veretto for Friendship. Well, my daughter chimes in. She's listening to the commentator. I appreciate that. Maybe she should come over here and talk a little bit. She might have some insight. You got a name for the 10-pin, sweetheart? Make sure you keep it clean. Camden Coleman. Oh, with a 3-6. Went a little high. Okay, I agree with that one. The stupid 10-pin. Yeah. I agree with that one. Calvin Huff. I haven't talked much about him today. He seems to be bowling the same time as Jackson Witt's been bowling. Again, he's a senior, two-hander from Snyder, Texas. Drives 90 minutes to come bowl every week. Oh, my goodness, the 6-pin. 4-pin. Jackson Witt, 3-bagger spare, first 4 frames. He's stepping up in the 5th. See if he can get on another roll here. My goodness. See, two-handed bowling is just not fair. I'm at this point right now where I just think it's not fair. Although I told my kids that they had to bowl two-handed if they wanted to bowl, because if I could do it, I would do it, because you get hits like that. Completely legal. Calvin Huff picks up his spare. A lot of debate in the world of bowling whether two-handed bowling should be fair or not. They still only put one hand in the ball. They just don't use their thumb. For any of you one-handed bowlers out there, you know the thumb can be a problem. Eric Parsley on 14. Not going to roll that 2-pin. Josiah Marino, lane 12. Carson Hopkins with just a 6-pin on 11. He better pick this up or I may have to yell at him. Oh, backup ball gets it. There you go, Carson. Yeah. Two-hander in the chat right now says we're better like that. Yeah, I know. The two-handed style, although you've got to work on ball speed and keeping your ball speed up, which is what I have. When I try to throw two-handed, that's where I have my problems, is keeping the ball speed up. You can get a ton of revolutions on the ball. We call them revs. You can get a ton of revs on the ball. It's just keeping that ball speed up. Lots of revs with no ball speed equals a lot of hook. So that's the trick with the two-handed style, is making sure you keep the ball speed up. I'm currently working on my two-handed game right now. I just took an old ball that I had and had it plugged and stuck 2 holes in it. USBC rules state that if your ball has a hole in it, you must put a digit in it, a finger. Something on your hand has to go in that hole. No more weight holes. So if you have a ball drilled for a one-hander and you only put 2 fingers in it, the USBC says that is illegal. So if it has a hole, you got to put a finger in it. So I drilled a ball with just the 2 fingers in it, just so I could work on my two-handed game to maybe get somewhere close as good as my daughter and my son. Yeah, I'm a wealth of useless knowledge. But yes, you can't just grab a ball off the rack and throw it two-handed. You got to stick a finger in that hole. Addison Balliman finally gets them all to go down. Nice spare by Naima Gayton. So when I bowl a few events, I was bowling PBA events. Didn't bowl many last year. Camden Coleman with a rail again on lane 13. One of my big problems as a old man one-hander is when the front of the lanes get beat up, meaning a lot of balls have been thrown on the lane in the front part of the lane and all the oil is gone. Everybody starts moving left to try to find more oil. And I can move left and hook it, but at some point in time, my ball just does not have enough revolutions to be able to turn the corner. So there becomes a point where I'm just so far left that I cannot get the ball to get into the pocket. And those lanes get beat up with all these two-handed, lots of revs. Think about it this way. A lot of reactive balls absorb oil. And so every time that ball turns over, it is absorbing more and more oil around the ball. So the fronts get pretty beat up. There's no oil there, so you just got to keep moving left, moving left, moving left. And you'll watch some of the pros that'll be so far left they're throwing the ball over the gutter cap to try to find more oil on the left part of the lane because there's not that many left-handers and they don't take as much oil off the lane. It gets to a point where I cannot get the ball to turn the corner. The best bowler in the world is a gentleman by the name of Walter Ray Williams. Has 46 titles on the PBA Tour. #1. And then I don't know how many titles he has on the 60 Tour right now, but quite a few. And one of his quotes is, two-handed bowling is the greatest advancement in bowling in his lifetime. To the point where he started working on his two-handed game at 60 years old. And he threw a 300 game two-handed at 60 years old. I don't know how many 300s he's had since then, but I think a couple more. So even he has recognized the benefits of two-handed bowling. And I bowled an event with him 2 years ago. Fronts got pretty beat up. We were bowling a regional event. And high rev younger bowlers were beating up the fronts, and we had to get left. I'm still bowling one-handed, and Walter Ray is bowling two-handed and scoring a whole lot higher than I am.
Jennifer, number 43, yours ready to throw.
I'm hoping in the next year or so I will find my way back on the tour and get back out there and bowl some regional events. Maybe a PBA 50 regional. Maybe go back on the 50 tour. I don't know. I did not do that much last year. Work kind of got in the way. All right, back to the action here. On 13 and 14, they are in the 7th frame. 11 and 12, they are just now starting the 6th frame. Naima Gayton with her 7-pin over there on lane 11. Javen Norris with just a 6-pin on 13. They both get them. Spare shooting is a very important thing when it comes to bowling. Oh! I don't know who that was over there on lane 9, but they had a mess over there. Elizabeth Mitchell stepping up on 12. Brandon Simonton with a double over there on 14. Daniel Letkeman on 13. See how far left he is. Throwing it across the middle where most of the oil is, trying to keep that ball holding. Brendan Brown on 14. Angel Estrada over there on lane 11, leaving the 3, 6, 9, 10. Camden Coleman looks like he's going to be stepping up on 14. Daniel Letkeman with a 5-pin. Everybody's hands go up. There we go. Angel Estrada did not get that ball to come off the gutter. Boy, Camden is way left. He's left of left. He's sliding in about 38 right now. Throwing the ball out to 6. Okay, what I was talking about there, let's talk about the bowling lane just a little bit for you people who are new to bowling and just kind of watching family members here. The lane is 60 feet long from the foul line to the front of the head pin. 60 feet. This oil is oiled down to 43 feet. So the last 17 feet has no oil on it. The lane is 40 inches wide. Jackson Witt with a big strike. That's a 3-bagger. He goes 3-bagger, spare 3-bagger. There is 40 inches wide. And on the lane there are printed, they're not actual boards, but there are printed boards out there. And we count them 1 through 39. There's 39 boards out there that are about 1 inch wide, which makes the lane 40 inches wide. Aiden Veretto crosses over and leaves the 6-pin. So one of the things we talk about with the kids is where they stand, where they look. There's some arrows out there that are 15 feet from the foul line. So we use those as aiming devices. We actually use boards as aiming devices. So they stand at a certain board on the lane, look at a certain board at the arrows, and try to get the ball to a certain board down lane, meaning at 43 feet. As the patterns change, oil patterns change, they can be shorter or longer. Normal house shots are somewhere between 40 and 45 feet long. Ours happens to be 43 feet long here at Whitewood Lanes, meaning we only oil down to 43 feet. Some lanes are oiled only down to 40 feet. Some of them lanes are oiled down to 45. Eric Parsley with a whoa. Backup ball. All right, let's see if that knocked thing. We had somebody run into the table. Let's see. There we go. They're moving pretty fast around here and just kind of bounced off the table just a little bit. Where was I? Oh. So anyway, so we teach kids to, because the boards are the same all the way down. So we, like for instance, we'll talk about Drew Campos here on lane 13. Looks like he's got his left foot on, well, he's going back to the well. All right, they're talking about it. Getting a little coaching, figuring out what they're going to do. Josiah Marino from Plainview over there on 12. Carson Hopkins stepping up on lane 11. All right, Drew Campos. He's sliding at about 30. Crossed the arrows at about 13. Got the ball out to about the 4 board. We number them 1 through 39 from the right to the left. So he crossed the arrows at about 14, sliding at about 30. Got the ball out to about 4 at 43 feet down the lane. Lots of different ways to go about targeting the ball down the lane, but that's the most common. Look where you're standing, aim at the arrows at a certain board to try to get your ball to be at a certain board at 43 feet. Jonathan Solis on lane 12. Elizabeth Mitchell will be coming up on lane 11. Jonathan does pick up his spare. Javen Norris on lane 14. That was another shim wrecker. Some more information about bowling that you probably didn't want to know is house patterns. Well, let's just talk about bowling in general. Most people know that there is oil on the lanes. Oil on the lanes keeps the ball from hooking, reducing the friction between the ball and the lane itself. It started years and years ago when there was wood lanes, when they were actually made out of wood. That's what I started bowling on when I was a kid. They were actually wood lanes. And you had to put oil on the lanes to protect the lanes from friction. Still was quite a bit of friction on the lanes, and when balls would go down the lane, they would make dents and scuff up the lane. So periodically, every 2 or 3 years, you would have to sand the lanes back smooth. But they put oil on the lanes to try to protect the lanes. Well, now the lanes are synthetic, and theoretically, you don't have to put oil on the lanes. Balls don't damage them as much as they used to. They still damage them, but don't damage them as much as they used to. Of course, if you didn't put oil on the lanes, the ball would hit the lane and go straight left if you're a right-hander. So we put oil on the lanes. And oil now can be put down on the lane in a pattern. And the oil machines these days look like a gigantic printer going down the lane. House shots have more oil in the middle, less oil on the outside. That way, if you miss, the whole object is for a house pattern is to get scores high. Back in the old days, what they would do on wood lanes is they would oil the lanes as equally as they possibly could, and then they would dump oil right in front of the head pin, 10 feet back. That way, if you missed left, the ball wouldn't hook. Well, we kind of do that now. So a house pattern is drier on the outside than it is in the middle. That way, if you miss to the right, the ball hooks back. If you miss to the left on the inside part of the lane, the ball doesn't hook. All right, I'm going to step aside and let Tori Berger step in here and do some commentating. Oh. Well, you can hear yourself now. This microphone will pick up everything. Say hi, Tori. Okay, she's going to pull it up, but it's going to be weird because it's going to be very delayed. On lane 13, Eric Parsley is coming up. They are starting the 9th frame, so if she wants to talk on this thing, she better do it fairly quick.
Hi, everybody.
All right. That's Tori Berger. That's my daughter. She is a two-handed bowler. I talk about her a lot on the live stream. She was 44th in the country last year at Junior Gold. Bowled last year at West Texas A&M. She's currently still looking for a new home. They're in the 8th frame on 11 and 12. Right now, it looks like the tables are kind of turning a little bit for Friendship. Hold on one moment. All right, live stream is off right now. I've got to change batteries in the camera, so give me just a moment.
Go away, Dennis. I'll save your spot for you.
Hold on. No, you can't. You're going to need to hand me one of those batteries.
Need the what?
That one doesn't go in that one. It goes. Too close. All right. Sorry about that. All right, they're going into the 10th frame on 13 and 14. They're entering the 9th frame on 11 and 12. At the conclusion of these games, I will try to get you the scores as fast as I possibly can. Drew Campos on lane 13 with an 8-pin. That's hard luck. Lexi Flores on lane 11. Eric Parsley stepping up in the 10th. He's working on a double. He's 138 in the 8th. So that's a 3-bagger for him. Drew Campos finishes up his game with a strike. Drew Campos goes 243, 189. Eric Parsley with a strike. Eric Parsley shoots 198. Drew Campos goes 243, 189. He is going to win the point for Cooper against Eric Parsley's 195, 198. Brandon Simonton's got a 12910 and does not convert. Brandon shoots 174.
Kylie, number 50, yours ready to go. Kylie, number 50.
Javen Norris shoots 141 his second game. So we'll figure that math out. All right, looks like Brandon Simonton went 159, 174, 333 is going to take the point over Javen Norris, 170, 141. Daniel Letkeman does not convert his spare and shoots 136. Brendan Brown is 182 in the 9th with a spare working. He can strike here for a 202. Does not. I think that's going to be a 201. So Brendan Brown from Cooper will take the point over Daniel Letkeman. 191, 199, 201. That is a 400 on the nose against Daniel's 176. That's 276. 276. 400 against 276. Camden Coleman up on lane 13. He's 149 in the ninth. Leaves the bucket. 2458. Seth Crump shoots 155. For a 377. Aiden Veretto is up on, just strikes on lane 14. Aiden Veretto can strike out for a big score. 260 something for a strike. Camden did not convert his spare. Shoots 158. I need to check that math on that one, but it looks like Seth Crump is going to take the point. Jackson Witt with a 10-pin. So Seth Crump is going to take the point. 377 to 350. Seth Crump goes 222, 155. Camden goes 192, 158. Jackson does pick up his spare. Aiden Veretto goes strike. 9 miss for a 256. I don't think that's going to be enough, but we will see. It's a big score, 439 for Aiden Veretto. Jackson Witt for his bonus ball. He can strike here for a 258. And he 9 pins. That'll be a 257, I believe. Okay, yeah. Jackson Witt goes 243, 257 for an even 500. Boy, he's had 2 really good days in a row. Again, he shot 264, 157 last week. He's averaging in the 250s right now for the last 4 days. Aiden Veretto goes 183, 256 for a 439, which would normally be enough to win a point, but did not. So Cooper is going to go into the Baker games leading 6-1. All right, we're going to move over to 11 and 12 and start getting some scores for you on 11 and 12. I can't see.
Players are more important than we.
Josiah Moreno for Plainview shot at another 89. That's 2 89s in a row. Lexi Flores shoots 114. Carson Hopkins 144. Elizabeth Mitchell Does not convert her spare on lane 12. Still had a good game. She still at 150. Addison Palamon will be stepping up on 12. Still waiting on the bowler for Plainview on lane 11. That should be Jonathan Solis.
Nick number 86, yours ready to go. Nick number 86.
Addison Palamon, 1, 2, 10. It's makeable. You just got to hit the 2-pin right in the nose. If you hit the 2-pin in the nose, you should kick that head pin over into the 10-pin. Jonathan Solis is going to be stepping up on lane 11. They're going to get started on Bakers here on 13 and 14. Again, Cooper is leading Friendship right now, 6-1. That means Cooper has to win 2 games. But as you might have heard me talk about, Bakers, everything changes. Addison did not convert her spare. Still had a great game, 191. That'll bring up Calvin Huff on lane 12. Addison goes 172, 191 for 363. Calvin Huff stepping up on lane 12. Jonathan Solis with just a 9-pin. Calvin gets them all to go. That's a 6-bagger for Calvin. Should have been paying more attention over there. Jonathan, oh my goodness. Oh, that's going to hurt. He's going to shoot 157. That's number 7 for Calvin. This is going to be for a 279 for Calvin Huff. If he strikes for a 279. Naima Gatlin with a big strike over there.
1, 2, 3, Pirates!
She can strike out for a 142. All right, Calvin. 279, my friend. What do you got? That's close. That's going to be high. So that's going to be a 276, I believe. Calvin goes 194, 276. That'll move him up in the standings for a big 470. Naima gets 8 pins on her fill ball. Oh, that's not her fill ball. That's 8 pins. She's getting to go for her spare here. Yeah, they're doing the same chants. They said they were all chants were on the table for today. Naima shoots 132. They've started their Baker game over here on 13 and 14. Hopefully you can keep track of what they're doing while I'm watching what's going on over here on 11 and 12. Remember, Cooper has to win 2 of the next 4 games to close out the match. Angel Estrada with a 2-5. Drew Campos with a 9-pin. Oh, Drew Campos, 10-pin. Javen Norris with a 4-pin. Oh, he whiffs the 4-pin. Angel Estrada shoots 163 for Plainview. Seth Crump with a big strike over there on 14 for Friendship. Brendan Brown crosses over, gets them all to go. Don't be too excited about that. Aiden Veretto on lane 14 with a big strike. Needed that after that miss. We got Jackson Witt stepping up on lane 12. I'll update you on that score momentarily. Trey Gatlin can shoot 162 with a strike here. Okay. Jackson Witt. They are right now, Cooper is 78 in the 5th with a strike work with a double working. Big split over here for Eric Parsley on lane 14. And they are 84 in the 5th with a double, but with a split. He's going to go for it and falls off the planet. All right, Camden Coleman's going to lead off on 13 in the 6th. With a 10-pin. All right, we're going to update you on scores for Plainview and the co-op team momentarily. All right. Lexi Flores defeats from West Texas High School Bowling's co-op team. Defeats Josiah Marino 234 to 178. Jonathan Solis from Plainview defeats Carson Hopkins from co-op team 325 to 246. Naima Gatlin is defeated by Liz Mitchell from the co-op team 309 to 293. Addison Palaman defeats Angel Estrada from Plainview 363 to 298. And Calvin Huff defeats Trey Gatlin 470 to 316. All right, so the co-op team leads Plainview 6-1 going into Bakers. All right, back to the game everybody wants to watch, 13 and 14, Cooper versus Friendship. Cooper opened in the 8th. They're 145 in the 8th. Friendship is 140 in the 8th. It is going to be a close one. They're 160 in the 9th right now. And a washout for Cooper for Brendan Brown. 1, 2, 4, 10. Aiden Veretto steps up quickly. Gets 8. He's bowling in the cleanup. And Brendan Brown got 0. So it's going to come down to the 10th. Aiden picks up his spare. Let's see what they're going to do. With a strike in the 10th, they can shoot 188. All right, they've already got it 1. With 3 strikes, all Jackson can do is get 181. So Friendship's going to take that point. So it's going to be 6-3. All right, sorry about that. I didn't see what Jackson did, the first one in the 10th. All right, I've got my statistician beside me right now, and she said he struck. This microphone's pretty good. It'll pick you up, babe. So, all right. So with the spare here, they can shoot 171. Friendship shoots 185. She's making a lot of noise over there. With a spare, Cooper can shoot 171. All right, they shoot 171. 185, 171. So Cooper is down 14 pins to totals right now. They're just starting Baker's over here on 11 and 12. I'm going to keep my attention over here on 13 and 14. We'll give a little bit more commentary on that game for this one because it's getting a little more interesting. Lexi Flores doesn't get them all to go down, but she's got 8. Good count. That's Angel Estrada on lane 12. Carson Hopkins going to be stepping up for the co-op team on lane 11. All right. New lineups. Brendan Brown's going to lead off for Cooper this game. Lofts it down there, gets a little air underneath it with a big strike. That's the way he started off. Looks like Eric Parsley is going to continue to lead off for Friendship with a 3-9. Carson Hopkins for his 5-pin spare does not convert. Naima Gayton. She shot 161, 132 her individual games with a little backup ball, get in their ball, and leaving just a 7-pin. Eric Parsley with a big spare. Drew Campos can take a 10-pin lead right now with a strike here in the second. And he does just that. That's a 10-pin lead right now for Cooper. Daniel Letkeman on lane 14 with a split. That's not what you want to do. Elizabeth Mitchell on lane 11. Jonathan Solis on lane 12 for Plainview. Daniel is going to get 2. Jonathan just leaves a 6-pin. Camden Coleman bowling in the 4th. Can take a 20-pin lead with a strike here. Crosses over, leaves just a 3-pin. Javen Norris on lane 14. Crosses over, misses the head pin. Ooh, that leaves a pretty tough 1, 3, 6, 8, 9, 8, 10. Camden. Whoa, that's not what you want to do. Trey Gatland with a strike on lane 12. Addison Palaman on lane 11. Crosses over, leaving a 1, 3, 5. Jackson Witt bowling in the 5th. Get him back on track. And he does with a strike. Let's look and see where we're at. So right now in the 4th, Cooper is 87 in the 4th. And Seth Crump is up in the 4th with a strike. So that gives them 41 in the 4th. Brendan Brown with another strike. That doubles them up. That adds another 10 to their total. Josiah Marino with, oh my, a 3, 5, 7. Calvin Huff stepping up for the co-op on lane 11. Aiden Veretto with a 10-pin on 14. Brandon Simonton with his unique style. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 10. Calvin Huff just leaving a 9-pin. Ooh. Okay, maybe Angels would fall down more often. Oh, he's going to get 1. That's going to hurt on count. That's not good. Eric Parsley. Goes right through the nose, leaving just a 6-10. Calvin Huff picks up his spare on 11. That was just the 5th frame for the co-op. Brendan Brown, that's Drew Campos. Drew Campos with a big strike. All right, where are we here? 134 in the 7th. To 79 in the 6th. Camden Coleman stepping up in the 9th frame for Lubbock Cooper. Floating it across the middle, and that bird dog Will Hunt got that 9-pin to get out of there. Daniel Ledkeman stepping up in the 8th for Friendship. That's left of left, taking 3 off the left. Jackson's going to take his time and think about it for a minute before he steps up. Jonathan Solis with a big spare on lane 12. Lexi Flores going to be up on lane 11. That's a little bit better. Nice spare by Daniel. That'll bring up Seth Crump in the 9th. No, that's going to bring up Javen Norris. Oh, this is. Hold on, let me look. No, this is the 8th frame for them. So right now, it's 164 with a double for Cooper working in the 10th. The 92 and the 7th with a spare working for Javen with a strike. All right, that kind of keeps them in it, but they're going to have to do a lot of work. They're basically going to need to strike out to get this game. Carson Hopkins with his spare over there on 11. Match over there is 70 in the 7th for Plainview, 125 in the 8th for the co-op team. Jackson Witt on 13. Floats it across the middle, high on the head pin, 3-6-10. Aiden Veretto crosses over, gets a strike. That's a 3-bagger for them. They can shoot 201. 192, I'm sorry. Jackson picks his up. With a strike, they'll shoot 201. Aiden Veretto gets another strike. The best he can do is 192. So Cooper is going to win this game. It's just a matter of the final score. That's going to give them 8 points. So it's going to be 8-3. That means Friendship's got to win out. 9 for Jackson with a 7-pin standing for a 200 on the nose. To Friendship's 192. So Friendship still has a 6-pin lead in totals, but they're going to need to win the next 2 to take the match. They can't lose a game. They're in the 10th frame on 11 and 12. Calvin Huff on the lane 11. Trey Gatlin on Gayton. My goodness, I don't know why I can't say his name. On lane 12. There goes Trey. He gets a strike. So right now it's 109 to 125 with Trey with a strike. And a split for Calvin. Looks like Plainview's going to take this game. Trey again. Doubles up. And that's going to seal it. Co-op shoots 127 to Plainview. Well, Trey's got one more ball. All right, they're getting started over here on 13 and 14. I will catch you up. There is Eric Parsley with a strike. Again, Friendship's got to win the next 2 to win the match and to stay in second. Trey gets 8. 163. So right now the match on 11 and 12 is 6 points to 3 points. And Plainview has got a 36-pin lead. That's correct. 36-pin lead. We'll come back to them a little bit later. Let's get you caught up They have switched lanes over here on 13 and 14. Friendship on 13. Cooper on 14. Brandon Simonton gets 8.
Adrian, number 98, works ready to go. Adrian, number 98.
3-6 spare for Daniel. And he chops it. So in the second frame, Friendship is 28 in the second. Let's see what Brandon can do. He picks it up, so they're going to be 19 in the second because they opened in the first frame. Javen Norris up on 13. A strike here would be huge. That ball did not hook. 1-2-6. Drew Campos up on lane 14. That held, but didn't strike. Angel Estrada on lane 12. 3-6-9-10. Carson Hopkins rips right through the middle for a 3-6-4. And Javen does not pick up his spare. Drew misses his 10 pin. All right. Seth Crump up on lane 13. They're 36 in the third to 37 in the third for Cooper. Seth leaves a 7 pin. Stepping up in the fourth is Camden Coleman on lane 14 with a 10 pin. All right, dueling single pins here. Seth Crump gets his 7. So they're going to be 46 in the fourth with a spare working. Camden gets his. They're going to be 47th in the fourth with a spare working. Aiden Barreto steps up and gets a strike, put a little pressure on Jackson Witt. Friendship's 1 pin down, but again, they have got to win both of them. They're still leading in totals, but they've got to have the next 2 games. Elizabeth Mitchell with a 1-2 spare over on 11. Again, on 11 and 12, Co-op is leading 6-3 over Plainview. Elizabeth Mitchell does not pick up her spare. Eric Parsley starting the 6th frame with a 10 pin. Jackson Witt, oh my goodness. 3-6-10, 3-6-7-10. It's spareable. He's got this in the bag, but does not convert. So that means Friendship is taking the lead until Eric Parsley misses his 10 pin. As I have told everybody, spares are important. Spares, especially in Bakers. Spare game in Bakers is the most important. You spare all the way out, you got a chance. Brendan Brown with a strike. That's going to force. That still means that Friendship's got the lead, I believe. 84 in the 6th to 72 in the 6th. But Cooper's got a spare working. Daniel Ledkeman with a 10 pin. Brendan Brown with a strike. Well, Brandon Simonton with a strike right here can get back to, well, so that's going to mean Friendship's still got a 1 pin lead. Dueling 10 pins here. Daniel rides the rail, gets his spare. Brandon Simonton gets his spare. It is 94 for Friendship to 92 for Cooper. Both with spares working. All right, this frame right here is pretty important for Friendship. Javen Norris. Leaving the 3-9. That's a tough spare. You got to pay some attention to that one. Drew Campos. Stepping up for Cooper on 14. Oh, okay. That puts them back in the lead with a double. No, with a strike. That's not. Now that does put them in the lead. So Friendship is 110 in the 8th to 112 in the 8th for Cooper with a strike working. So that's really 10 pins. So that's a 12-pin lead for Cooper. Camden Coleman. All right. There's that 12-pin lead I was talking about. And Seth Crump stepping up in the 9th for Friendship. Needs this one. You need it. You need it. And we got the back pin to fall down. But that is going to... And Jackson can really shut the door with a strike here. Okay. Well, the door is not wide open. It's cracked open. But Seth does need to pick this up. All right. Okay. With that spare, Friendship can shoot 160. Well, Cooper is already at 161. And, oh, okay. Well, Aiden Veretto with just a 7-pin standing. Now they can shoot 149. Cooper's already at 151. Jackson went with a backup ball to shoot 170. They're going to win the point. That gets them to 10 and wins the match. Cooper is going to win the match. Right now the points are 10-3. Cooper over Friendship. Let's take a look at the standings, shall we? And see what Friendship's got to do to stay ahead. Come on. To stay ahead. To stay ahead of Cooper. Right now they're down 7. To stay ahead of Cooper, Friendship needs to win this game. Right now it's 80-72. Right now there's a 7. There, Friendship's got a 1-point lead, but if Cooper wins this game, they will surpass Friendship in the team standings and move to second place. So Cooper win. If Friendship wins, they stay in second. If Cooper wins this game, they will be in second place. Problem with that is Cooper's already played Monterey, who is in first place, and lost to Monterey. So then they will be rooting for Friendship to beat Monterey for a three-way tie for first. And then it'll come down to points. All right, over on 11 and 12. Co-op shoots 132. 137, excuse me. Got a 5-pin over there for Trey. So if he spare strikes, he can shoot 127. So West Texas Co-op is going to win the points. That'll bring them to 8. So it's going to be 8-3. Still WT West Texas over Plainview. Just by how much is the question. And do some math over here. They're getting started on their last game on 11-12. Again, on 11-12, Cooper has won the match, but they need to win this game to move into second place. Okay. Plainview shoots 117. All right, so as it stands right now, the Co-op is leading Plainview 8-3, but Plainview has a 16-pin lead on totals. Plainview will have to win the next 2 and totals to win the match. All the Co-op needs to do is one game. They just need one game, and they will win the match. All right. They've already started. They're in the third frame. Right now, Cooper is 38 in the third with a strike working. With a double in the fourth. Javen Norris leaves just a 6-pin. Again, Friendship needs to win this game to stay in second. Actually, that's not true. They need to win this game by a lot to stay in second. Cooper. Well, Jackson doesn't like the right-hand side right now, so he is throwing a backup. Elizabeth Mitchell over here on 12 with a 2-pin. Javen Norris. With his spare conversion. Brendan Brown. Lean on it. It didn't. 10-pin left standing. Seth Crump. Floats it across the middle with leaving just a 6-pin. Lanes have gotten pretty beat up over here on 13 and 14. They are left of left, throwing it to the right and just having trouble striking. Elizabeth Mitchell picks up her spare. Naima Gayton on lane 11 crosses over. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 8. Seth Crump picks up his spare. Brandon Simonton looks like he is stepping up on lane 14. With a big strike. Cooper is most likely going to move into second place with this win. Addison Palaman on lane 12. Didn't hook, leaves the bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8. Aiden Veretto, big strike on 13. Jonathan Solis leaving the 3-6. Drew Campos, another strike. That is a 3-bagger for them, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. I am wrong. That is just 2. Eric Parsley with a 2-pin. Addison Palaman for her bucket conversion. That needs to stop hooking, and it didn't. She chops the 2-4-8 off the 5 with an open. Trey Gayton with a strike over there on 11. Eric Parsley misses his 2-pin. I think dejection is setting in for Friendship just a little bit. Maybe Daniel Leakman can right the ship. Josiah Marino on lane 11. Well, he gets a strike out of it. Sometimes Brooklyn side is better than the New York side. Calvin Huff. Strikes. Doesn't look like he likes it, but he strikes. Josiah Marino. That's got a chance. Nice spare. Seth Crump. No. I'm sorry. That is Javen Norris with a trip 6-3. Camden Coleman in the 9th. Didn't like it off his hand. That was hooking. That was going left from the moment he put it on the lane. Carson Hopkins. 1, 2, 8, 10. Seth Crump on lane 13. Leaving the 2-5. Camden does convert his spare. Here, 184 in the 9th with a spare working. They can shoot 224 if Jackson strikes out. Seth Crump picks up his spare. Jackson Witt on 14. Another backup ball. Oh, my goodness. Angel Estrada over there on lane 11 and does not convert his spare. Aiden Veretto with the 10-pin. That's going to do it, folks. Cooper is going to take the match. (14-3). So that's going to move Cooper into second place by 3 points. It's going to move Cooper into second place. Friendship's going to fall into third with only one loss. So it's going to be Monterey, Friendship, and Cooper Monterey, Cooper, and Friendship in that order. So Cooper is going to become big fans of Friendship here in a couple of weeks when Friendship takes on Monterey. That'll make a three-way tie if Friendship can somehow beat Monterey, and it'll come down to points. And what could get interesting for the last week is it may come to a one-game Baker roll-off for first place if Friendship can somehow take out Monterey. But that's going to happen in a couple of weeks.
Brooks, number 98, yours ready to go. Brooks, number 98.
Final scores on Friendship versus Cooper. Cooper shoots 214. Friendship shoots 179. That finishes that one up. Congratulations to Cooper. Now we're going to move over and we will solely focus on 11 and 12 because that match is still in doubt. Right now, Plainview is 113 in the ninth with a double. And the co-op is 136 in the ninth with a spare. With Calvin Huff stepping up. Doesn't quite come back. We got a 2-8. You got to pay that one a little bit of attention. All right. Trey Gayton strikes out for a 143.
That pair was so hard.
All right. Co-op does win the game 153 to 143. So that gives them the match. They're still down on totals, though, by 6. So the final score is still kind of in doubt right now on 11 and 12 with one game to go. They have finished up on 13 and 14. Cooper wins the match 14-3 against Friendship. Moves them into second place by 3 points. Congratulations to Cooper. It came down to the last game, as it usually does. Lexi Flores with a 2-8. Oh, that's a 1-5. And she got it. I didn't think she was going to pick that up. Josiah Marino does not get his spare conversion. That's going to bring up Carson Hopkins on lane 12 in the second. That's left of left and does not get anything. Glad you guys joined us today. I hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. Angel Estrada throws that a little too far to the right, leaving the 1-2-4-7. That's better, Carson. And he gets his spare. Second ball first. That brings up Elizabeth Mitchell on lane 12. The co-op has already won the match. It's just a matter of points at this point. Oh, what was that? Liz picks up her spare. She seems very happy about that, and she should be. That's going to bring up Addison Palamon in the fourth frame. Nahima. Goodness gracious, with a big strike on 11. Nahima. Gatlin. It's way up there. You can see over everything. Addison Palamon with a big strike on lane 12. That gives him 10 extra pins, and that's going to set up Jonathan Solis on lane 11. Crosses over and gets a strike there. That's a double. That's a double for Plainview. Bringing up Trey and Calvin bowling the fifth. Calvin Huff. Again, he's from Snyder, Texas. Driving 90 minutes to come bowl this match, as he does every week. And he leans on the 10 and gets it to go down. So that's a double for them. Trey for a 3-bagger, leaving just a 4-pin. Hey, we're catching a little Melody Boynton over there on lane 15 with a big strike. And another strike on lane 10. Couldn't see who that was. Trey picks up his spare. Lexi Flores from Cooper, bowling with the co-op team today. Oh, that needs to hook a little bit, and it didn't. Josiah Marino for Plainview on 11. Right down the middle. And the 5-6. That's unique. Lexi Flores with her spare conversion. Yeah, that's the way you do it, girl. Let's see what Josiah does with this 5-6. That was close. Carson Hopkins. 1-3-6-8. Plainview is 89 in the sixth with an open, and co-op is 109 in the sixth with a spare working. And now an open in the seventh. Nahima Gatton with the backup ball. It didn't back up. Elizabeth Mitchell stepping up on lane 12. Takes 3 off the left. Yeah, 3 off the left, and then the 9-pin fell as well. Nahima. That's what typically happens. You throw one to the left, then you throw one to the right. All right, let's see what Elizabeth can do. She's just a freshman, and that is not what she had intended, I don't think. Jonathan Solis. Oh, come on. That's not fair. 9-pin standing. He crossed over, but still. Addison Palaman on lane 12. That's left. That's left of left. 1-3-6. See what Jonathan can do with this 9-pin. That's a shallow water over there on lane 10. With a big strike. Oh, backup ball. And gets it. Haven't seen that out of him before. Addison just needs to throw a strike ball. Maybe you should have thrown that one the first time, girl. She seems happy about her spare conversion. That's going to bring up Calvin in the 10th. Plainview is 127 in the 9th with a spare working. Co-op is 132 in the 9th with a spare working. Trey with just a 3-6. Let's see what Calvin can do here. Calvin Huff on lane 12. That's in the middle of the lane, and that, at this point in time, is not going to be successful. Too many balls have gone down the lane right there. Spare attempt for Trey. And he chops the 3-pin off the 6-pin. Shooting 144. All right, Calvin Huff's going to finish this game up. He's got a 3-6-4, 3-4-6-7. It is makeable. You got to get the ball over there and kick that just like that, and no. Oh, my goodness. All right. Co-op shoots 147. The Plainview's 144. They win the point. Interesting enough that they did not West Texas Co-op wins game 2, 3, and 4, getting 2 points apiece, but does not win totals. Plainview shot 163 the first game to the Co-op's 127. They had a 36-pin lead. Co-op cut it to 16 in the second game, then to 6 in the third game, and win that game. The last game, 147-144, which is only a 3-pin. So they are going to take totals. So that match is going to be 12-5. West Texas Co-op 12, Plainview 5. But the good news is, for those of you in Plainview who are watching this match, the co-op ended up having to get a sub, so they're going to lose based on a forfeit, 17-0. All right. That concludes our matches for this Saturday, January 18th. We will be back next Saturday, January 25th, with match number 8. Not sure who's going to be on the live stream, but it ought to be entertaining. I'm going to sign off now because I can't quit coughing. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next Saturday. This is the West Texas High School Bowling Club channel. You have a great rest of your Saturday.